Welcome to the $100 Challenge. Furniture flippers are competing to see who can complete their piece under $100. This challenge is hosted by Sabrina from Sab's Rehabs. You'll want to check out and subscribe to her channel, as well as all the YouTubers on the playlist. Here's the piece I'll be working on. First off, I spent $40 on my piece, so that's already leaving me only $60 in my budget to get my piece complete. You're going to want to stay to the end to see everything that goes on with this piece. You'll see it's in not great condition. There's some repairs that need to be done, but they're not too terrible. We're missing a leg here, nothing we can't fix. We have a loose pediment, I think you call that, at the top, or else a finial, not sure. But anyway, just like any other project, I get to it with cleaning right away, and I am also repairing this leg. And I'm using Titebond wood glue, and basically I'm just making sure that I get that glue generously applied to the entire piece. And then it did have screws, so I'm also replacing those screws and making sure that it's really in there tightly. This is such an interesting challenge to see how we can do this. So you'll want to subscribe and check out my normal everyday tips. I had to repair this leg. It was broken in two, so I used a clamp. And then I'm using some Dixie mud, and we're going to add the cost to that in to repair that missing chunk, and also some other places throughout. So now that the leg is repaired, we are going to add it onto the piece. There's little pegs in there, so fortunately that helps to align it as well. Not gonna lie, things didn't all go smoothly with this piece, but we got that screw in good and solid. This one I ran in and then the screw came out to the side. So I had to reinstall the screw and also then use the mud to patch the hole that I made. That's what I'm doing right now. While I have this baby on its side, I'm going to clean it, and I'm using vinegar and water. I also rinse it when I'm done with plain water. I'm still inspecting some things as I go, and I see that there's a broken hinge, we'll call it, on the desk, and I've removed the insert inside. So, boy, it took me a while to repair this baby. I didn't film it, but it was interesting, let me tell you. So, it took me a while to figure it out. I remove all the drawers. And of course, that's making it easier for me to throw this thing around because, again, I do things in kind of weird order sometimes and it makes people crazy, but that's how I work. So I vacuum the whole piece and I do little repairs here and there, and I continue to clean inside and out. I remove the hardware and I put all of it in a bag. I wish it really only took this long to clean the piece. I hope you'll check out my Amazon wish list and also the super thanks button if you like this content. This thing was pretty dusty and dirty, and don't forget to look in the drawers whenever you're cleaning. Of course you're going to clean them anyway, but who knows what you'll find, especially in these old secretary desks. So I am removing the glass. At first I wasn't sure whether I was going to keep the doors on it or not. Sometimes I can separate those and do an art piece out of the doors. And make a little more money that way, selling them separately. So one thing I never use is spray paint. So I knew I wanted gold, so I bought that spray paint. For $6.98, it's Krylon, and it's really pretty gold. I usually only use spray paint for handles. Remember, we're trying to save money, so I got some IKEA napkins and some Elmer's school glue, and I'm going to decoupage on here. Normally, I would use a sealer to do this job, but you can use glue. So I will tell you in the end what my review is of these alternative products that I've been using to stay under budget. Let's hope anyway. Now, I am going to tell you I struggled with this because normally the napkins are 3-ply, and these were 3-ply, but the part that you normally do is to just peel the top layer. Well, these ones were a little too flimsy to do that, so I only peeled off one layer, so I was left with 2 plies. The other thing is they had perforations around the edges. And I was trying to cut those off and match them, and it really wasn't working. And I was also ruining some napkins. So you saw me go through one. Here's number 2. And let's hope the third time is the charm. Wait for it. Wait for it. And is it going to work? Nope. It's already ripped, and there goes that one. So, I try again, and this time I discover that once you put those, if you leave the perforations on, when you put the glue over it, they really kind of disappear. The other thing that I didn't realize was when you use the entire napkin, you can match them up, but obviously they aren't matched very well here. And I'm still having trouble, so I end up scrapping this part of it too. Here's the color I'm going to be using. It's from Dixie Belle, and I should have used a 16-ounce container, but I ended up using an 8-ounce. Also, note the brush. I ended up using 2 8-ounces, so I'm going to give you the price for the 16-ounce container. I am using a premium chip brush, and that is also from Dixie Belle. It's better than most chip brushes, but at the end of this project, it's not going to be good for much else. So I do decide to take the doors off, and I also am using some blue painter's tape to mask off some areas. Now, again, I'm taking advantage of every angle of this when I have it on its side, so I spray some of the feet while it's on the side and some of the other areas while it's on its side as well, using that masking tape and also a painter's canvas that I had on hand. And I'm spraying that finial because it's off and we need to fix it anyway, so I might as well take advantage of that. Here I am using Boss. I didn't feel like I could cut corners there. The Boss prevents bleed through. I knew that the soft pink was kind of light, and this wood is old, and it also, may have had some spots that were raw down to the wood, and that the tannins in the wood might bleed through. so I'm not taking any chances with this light color. I did paint the drawers, and I'm going to show you a little tip here. When you're putting those little tiny tacks in, I like to use jewelry pliers, and that helps me hold it till I get it in, and I can tap it the rest of the way. Here's another tip. When you want to touch up the screw heads, spray some spray paint in some water on a paper plate, and then you can take a brush and touch up those screw heads. So I hope you like those two little tips. And now I decided I'm going to use those napkins on the back of the cabinet part. So again, now I have learned to lay it out, and to also I can match up those pieces. So I'm going to be a little more careful with the application of this. And yes, I'm still using that mixture of the Elmer School Glue and the Foam and Dandy brush from Dixie Belle. And I hope you're keeping track so far. More repairs, and I'm still using that Tight Bond glue. Okay, check out this trick. So I am using the glue, and from the paint department, a paint stirrer stick, absolutely free. Lots of painting of details against the gold. Here's me skipping around again, and now I'm applying mud over top of the paint sticks. Again, every time I paint the bare wood, I am using the boss first. Easy as can be, I pulled out the little stopper for the doors. Here I'm using a stencil that I got on Wish. Super cheap. I think it was only $1. I positioned the stencil on the front as well. I laid it down so that the paint wouldn't run. It's a little different when you're using spray paint. I knew I was getting a little bit of overspray on the top, but I also knew I was going to go over it with my pink paint as well. I carefully reinsert the insert. And when it's in, I actually use a screw, 2 of them, and make sure that it doesn't move anywhere this time. I'm using these little keys to see which one fits the best. I got those on Wish also for $1 for a whole bunch of them, and I'm using just one of them in this project. We're almost to the finish line. Now it's just time for touch-up paint. I hope you're keeping tabs on everything I spent so far, and stay tuned to the end and we'll do the math and see how I did. Did I stay under $100? Remember what we started with? Here's what it looks like all complete. Don't forget to stick around for the math. Let's do the math and see how we did. Here's my totals, and I went over. If I would have substituted spackling from the dollar store instead of the Dixie Mud and used a cheaper foam brush, then I would have gone over still, but only by $1.56. Lastly, if I prorate all the products I used and only count the amount that I used, then I'm under. My thoughts are I would rather use the good products anyway because they just work better. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, how about giving it a thumbs up and also share it with your friends? If you haven't subscribed, you'll want to do that so you don't miss anything. Visit us at LaVintageDecor.company, and on Instagram we're LaVintageDecor, and on Facebook we're LaVintageDecor Altoona. Stay well.